Hello and good afternoon. My name is Böðvar Þór Brynjarsson and I'm a student at the University of Iceland. I'm studying to become an elementary teacher and I'm in my third year. And the reason why I'm speaking with you today is to briefly introduce you to a project that I'm working on, my bachelor thesis project, which I pretty much started working on while I was taking the course that you are in now, English as a foreign language and second language acquisition. And my project is about how we as teachers and educators can integrate and implement digital technology into the classroom. And the title of the project is Upgrading English Language Teaching in Iceland, Guidelines and Tools to Motivate Language Teachers and Students. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do this by creating a website that I'm showing you now. It's only a draft, so it's not ready yet, but you can just type in the web address here to look at the content, even though it's not ready. But anyway, the main goal of this website is to provide resources for language teachers who want to integrate more technology into their lessons and also showcase tools and explain how they can support language teaching. And I'm using a web builder called Wix.com, and I've also used it for other purposes. For example, if I could just showcase you how I'm using it for different purposes. This was a project that I was working on in my teaching practice. I was teaching 7th grade and the topic was summer. So I just created a website with a vocabulary based on the topic and just I let my students know the web address to the site. And the great thing about it was that they always have access to this vocabulary on the internet, and they had already looked at the vocabulary before the class began, so that was really nice. And yeah, also a fun way to do something different. But anyway, to continue. Um, Here I just go over why we should use digital technology in the classroom and how the situation is today in Iceland based on a report that came out in the year 2014, and also my own experience from working in elementary school and also from my teaching practices. But anyway, here I have an ideas that are related to digital language learning, and here's a section that I've yet to put in, but I'm planning to do that next week. The learning characteristics of a certain age groups. And here I have the educational app section. I know I'm just scrolling down, but if for example, say you only want to look at the educational app section, you just click here and it should take you, yeah, straight to it, which is comfortable in my opinion. Anyway, what I do, I list an app and briefly tell what it's about, and then I always try to list an example how it can be used in the classroom. And if there is a tutorial on how to use it, then I put it here. For example, with Moxtra, it's a communication app where a teacher can upload assignments, hold video meetings, and all that stuff. Would be very useful now, I think, because of the virus and all that. But here I have, for example, Duolingo, and also how we can use that in class, in the classroom. And I do this with the most app that I put in here. Kahoot is a quiz app where a teacher can create quizzes, and the students will only need a smart device like iPads or their phones. And I used this app last week with my students. They have been working with a literature called Wonder, so I created a quiz to review the chapters that we had been working with, and I just created a quiz with 21 questions, I believe. And well, because of the virus, there were only 12 players playing it, and it creates a competitive environment, which is a challenge for the teacher, but a really fun experience for the students. But I would not recommend overusing it, but it's great to break up the traditional way of teaching, in my opinion. But anyway, let's just continue. SoundCloud is great if you want to allow your students to do podcast about a certain topic. And Comic Live is actually an app where students can create comics online, and it's a clever program. And here you can see, sorry, here you can see a tutorial that explains how briefly how the program works. and here's how you can use that in the classroom. And here's a draft of something that I did uh, for another course that I was in, and I used it, and it was really fun. Um, Grammarly is a writing app which I'm using now in my bachelor thesis, and it's a really clever app because it gives you feedback constantly while you're writing. For example, correctness, I have to fix something here, clarity, engagement, delivery, and you can set goals based on your audience, formality, do you want the text to be formal or not, uh, tone, do you want it joyful, confident, and it basically helps with most aspect of writing. So I would recommend this program definitely. It's much better than the autocorrect program in Word or something like that. But yeah, and here we have OBS Studios, which is an app which I've yet to put content in based on this app, but I'm using this app to record this now, and sorry, it's my first time recording something like this, so I'm not seasoned in it. But anyway, here I have mind mapping, and I've used mind map quite a lot. I've been teaching English now for 2 weeks because of the virus. I was asked to do that, and I use mind map a lot when I'm teaching music. And here's, for example, is a mind map that I made for my 6th graders, and the topic was space, so I just created a mind map in this website called app.mindmapmaker.org, and yeah, then just use projector to showcase it. And the students added some word based on the categories like Star Wars, in pop culture, songs, all that stuff. So it was a great way to start the class. And yeah, mind maps are very useful in my opinion. And here we have game-based environment section, which I'm planning to be working on next week, and I'm planning to have the website up by the 1st of April if everything goes well. But here I have 10 key principles for using video games in the classroom. It's useful for me when I'm picking the games that I want to write a review about, and also useful for the teachers if they want to implement a video game or online role-playing game into the classroom. But yeah, and this is just an example of the games that I'll be looking at next week: League of Legends, Football Manager, Ratchet and Clank, World of Warcraft, all that stuff. But yeah, this is just a brief introduction of the website. It's not ready yet, it's a draft of it, but like I said, if you want to look at it, then just type in the web address here and you should be able to have access to the content. But anyway, thank you for listening and have a nice day.